We're back. It's November 27th, 2023, and these are your headlines. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving. I know I did, but with Thanksgiving having come and gone now, giving a short reprieve to the special sessions in the state legislature, well, back to reality. Lawmakers are set to return this week. But where did we leave things off? With the House having rejected Governor Greg Abbott's school choice priority, questions now loom about how long the legislature will ultimately be in session. As a refresher, special sessions can only be called by the governor up to 30 days at a time. Lawmakers are limited to debate on the issues placed on the call. While it's not uncommon to have one or two special sessions, that's in addition, by the way, to the regular 140-day session that happens every 2 years, the Texas Legislature is currently in their fourth. This time, Abbott tasks lawmakers with border security and education issues. But while they made quick work of border security measures, the two chambers and the governor remain at an impasse regarding education. Specifically, Abbott's call mentions increased funding for public schools as well as a school choice program. While both chambers appear to agree in the abstract on increased teacher pay and school safety funding, but it's school choice that has remained as the sticking point. So the plan pushed by Governor Abbott and passed by the Senate would create education savings accounts. Each student enrolled in the program would receive some amount of money that they could use to pay for tuition at a private school. While the Senate has passed that legislation numerous times now, the House voted to strip the school choice provision out of their own omnibus school spending bill earlier this month. After that vote, Abbott said he would continue advancing school choice in the Texas Legislature and at the ballot box and will maintain the fight for parent empowerment until all parents can choose the best education path for their child. Whether that means calling lawmakers back for a fifth special session, however, well, that's up in the air. In fact, let's look at the record. At different times, Governor Abbott has given different answers on the possibility of a fifth or sixth special session. Ahead of the third special session, Abbott indicated he would call lawmakers back for 2 additional sessions. His exact quote was, "If we do not win in that first special session, we will have another special session and we'll come back again. And then if we don't win that time, I think it's time to send this to the voters themselves." Following that logic, when this fourth special session ends, that would be the end of it. And then we would go to the ballot box. Just a few weeks ago, however, Abbott changed his tune and said he would call lawmakers back if school choice did not pass. He said, "We'll be spending December here, maybe January here, maybe February here. And I know one thing about both the House and Senate, they want to get out of here." It's important to note that was before the House voted to kill school choice. So let's take a look again at his latest statement. We just read about fighting for school choice, quote, in the Texas Legislature and the ballot box. Well, it looks like he's straddling the fence now between his two previous statements. Abbott's office did not respond to a request for comment on whether he would call another special session. By the way, the current special session expires on December 6th. If Abbott does call a fifth special session, it'll only be the second time a governor has called 5 special sessions. We're entering record territory here. The current record is 6. Those were called by Governor Bill Clements back in 1989 and 1990. The first article in a 2-part series looking at Governor Abbott's political appointments is live now on Texas Scorecard. You can check it out. As Robert Montoya, our investigative reporter, notes, Texas politics remains heavily influenced by the disgraced Bush dynasty. The family's connections to both the Chinese Communist Party and the political persecution of a popular statewide official raises concerns about their level of influence. This is in thanks in no small part to Governor Abbott, whose political appointments have favored the powerful family, which suggests an administration bias towards the establishment. Both Abbott and the Bush dynasty's proximity to the impeachment of Attorney General Ken Paxton raises questions about the legitimacy of continuing to use Bush allies to staff state government positions. Bush World's connections to the Chinese Communist Party also raise concerns. Now, in this article, Montoya lists out, he names names, exactly who these appointments are, what they do, and why they are so concerning. You can check that out right now at TexasScorecard.com.
Do Democrats control the Texas House? That's the question I'm asking myself, because so many people have been coming up to me and asserting that as a fact. I can count. There are more Republicans in the Texas House than Democrats. But what folks keep pointing to is a Speaker of the Texas House who seems more concerned with appeasing the Democrats than delivering for his Republican voters.
As Democrats, thank you. We appreciate so much your allowing us the opportunity to work together.
You only need 8 or 10 rhinos to side with all the Democrats, then all the conservative Republicans are shoved outside in the wilderness.
Call a spade, the Democrats control the House.
So I'm going to go out and travel the state. I'm going to visit with folks and ask that question. Who runs the Texas House?
So that's a really good question.
Lastly, in a win for parents pushing to protect students from exposure to sexually explicit content in schools, McKinney Independent School District has finally removed 73 titles from campus libraries. District officials say the books did not meet the selection criteria adopted by the school board earlier this year. McKinney parents began challenging explicit and age-inappropriate books in school libraries in 2021. Those challenges were part of a heated debate that was, and still is, happening in school districts across the state and nationwide. A notice on McKinney ISD's Library Services website now shows a long list of books removed from school libraries following a review of campus collections. This is also thanks to House Bill 900, also known as the Reader Act, stands for Restricting Explicit and Adult Designated Educational Resources. I always love those acronyms. That was passed during this year's regular legislative session. The law's effective date was September 1st, but various provisions kick in between January of next year and January 2025. Now, HB 900 is currently being challenged in court by a coalition of booksellers, publishers, and defenders of allowing readers of any age to access any content. Texas will present arguments supporting the measure on Wednesday before the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. If the state succeeds in court and can fully implement HB 900, parents in McKinney and across Texas will have legal backing to protect their children from exposure to pornographic material at school. Remember, you can check out more of today's stories at texasscorecard.com.